Coming up next, On the Spot. Hang on. Brian Eckberg's cutting corners with Tourist Trophy and looking to avoid a mean case of road rash. Also, Brad Shoemaker's going to mattresses with The Godfather. Ricardo Torres has an exclusive look at Mega Man Powered Up. And Greg Mueller's pulling no punches on Fight Night Round 3. Plus, we'll peek at GameSpot's upcoming features on the history of boxing and the Nintendo Entertainment System. Then use both as an excuse to play Mike Tyson's Punch-Out. Forget the small talk. Let's get to the nitty-gritty. We're live and on the spot. Hello, everyone, and welcome to On the Spot, GameSpot's live show. We do every Thursday. We bring in some new games. We bring in some editors. We quote Fresh Prince songs.
All the time.
All the time.
Every week, a new Fresh Prince song.
Me and Mike, 2 months, the Trump, Atlantic City.
Yeah.
I think you can beat Mike Tyson, Jeff Gerstmann.
I'm not so sure that I can beat Mike Tyson, Rich Gallup.
Hit Mike Tyson.
Yeah. I think it's more likely that I will hit Mike Tyson. That's the claim, the bold claim.
We're gonna find that later on. We have a lot of great stuff today. Jeff, I'm actually gonna just kick you out of the seat right now.
All right. Well,
sorry, we got to get the show rolling.
I got some stuff I got to do. So
all right, he's got some great stuff. But before you leave, Ryan Davis, can you please tell us what's going on during today's show?
We've got a ton of awesome stuff going on the show today, Rich. We're going to be, in addition to Jeff getting his ass whipped in Mike Tyson's Punch-Out, Greg Mueller's going to be here. He's going to be showing off Fight Night Round 3 for the Xbox 360. We're going to be talking a little bit about the NASCAR Pedal to the Metal tournament that we're holding here. We're going to be showing off Godfather for the Xbox.
Yep.
Sure, yeah. Godfather the Xbox. We're going to be showing off an exclusive demo of Mega Man Powered Up for the PSP. But first off, I believe we're going to be showing off a little bit of Tourist Trophy for the PS2. Is that right?
We sure are, Ryan Davis.
Something like that?
Thank you very much.
And before you cut away from me, if you're a GameSpot subscriber, you can ask us questions, fill out the form below. If you don't see the form below, you're not a subscriber, sign up today. Take it, Rich.
Cool. Thank you, Ryan. We'll be expecting your questions throughout the day.
Actually, I'm ready.
You're ready?
I'm ready.
You want to see a magic trick?
Yes.
Pop! Brian Eckberg.
Oh!
Wow.
How's it going, Brian?
Doing
what
great,
did you do to Jeff?
I don't know. I traded him in for a sports editor.
I can't beat Mike Tyson either, trust me.
I don't think I can either.
You want something sportier?
Yeah, something a little more sportier. We're going. Brian Eckberg, what game did you bring to today, sir?
Tourist Trophy.
What is Tourist Trophy?
Tourist Trophy, as I referred to it in our latest preview, is Gran Turismo on two wheels.
Oh, so that means like scooters? What is it?
Motorcycles, scooters, maybe even a few dirt bikes in there, I'm not
Two
sure.
unicycles.
A couple unicycles strung together with dental floss, yeah. So yeah, this is Tourist Trophy, and Polyphony Digital is the developer. They're, of course, the same guys who make the great Gran Turismo series. Mm-hmm. Readers of the site might know that a couple of us went to Infineon Raceway last week and checked out some of the Tourist Trophy event they had there, and we got to meet the developer of the game. His name is Takamasa Shinisawa, also known as Nana-san, a longtime Polyphony Digital developer who had a dream of making a motorcycle game, and he took it to the Gran Turismo producer. The guy said, "Yeah, sure, I love the idea. Get it done in 10 months." Which, for anyone who knows a Polyphony Digital game, that's like an incredibly short, development cycle.
Aren't we still waiting for like GT4 Online?
We're still waiting for that. We're still waiting for GT, GT Vision Gran Turismo.
Oh, right, that one.
So yeah, but he got it done. I mean, the game was announced, last year, and here we are. The game's out in Japan. And it's about to come out here in the United States.
Well, let's hop right into it. We are playing the Japanese version right now.
That's right. This is the import version.
Right. So some of the text, although I'm seeing all English here.
Most of those numbers on screen are English. Mm-hmm. Yes. So I mean, this is what we're writing on right here is Valencia, which is the only new course in the game. What happens is, I mean, I mentioned the very short development cycle in the game.
Right.
That means that they only had so much time to put it together, and the Gran Turismo formula is tried and true. So you find a lot of similarities between the two games,
including several tracks,
including mostly all the tracks. I mean, you have tracks, famous Gran Turismo tracks such as Deep Forest and Grand Valley. All the courses that you've raced in previous iterations of Gran Turismo are here, which is great, and as well as really actual courses such as Fuji and Tsukuba and Motegi, and the full Nürburgring is here for those freaks who like that 13-mile behemoth. And, I mean, this is Valencia, and it's actually really appropriate that this track would be in it because it's a MotoGP circuit. It's a very famous motorcycle course, and they've done it up really well. What they've done is, because it's a motorcycle game, they've taken some of the classic tracks in the game, such as Suzuka and Infineon, and done sort of motorcycle how do I? They rearranged them for motorcycles.
Gotcha.
They put chicanes in there. The general layout, the general layout of the course is the same. They've just been. I'm about to crash here.
Now you're fine, dude.
Yeah, there's the crash animations. So they've been altered slightly, but for the most part, it's the exact same tracks that you've been riding on for a long time.
Our users want to see, Kevin Wright specifically from Pickering, Ontario, wants to see some different camera angles.
Sure.
Can we do that up?
Yep, we've got
People
here.
want to see the racing games from the close-up view, it seems.
Absolutely. This is the first-person cam, and you can see as I dip into the corner here, it looks kind of crazy.
That is intense.
Yeah, I sort of, have to turn my head a little bit to play it correctly. And then there's, of course, this one's more akin to the regular Gran Turismo first-person view. No hood cam or anything like that, of course. These are motorcycles. But
I like the handlebar cam. Let's go with that one.
yeah, and as they pointed out to us at the event last week, all of these cockpits are realistic and real to the game, real to the actual bike models themselves.
Now, the
so.
Gran Turismo games are known for having a ton of cars.
Yeah.
A ton of cars.
Absolutely.
How many bikes are in Tourist Trophy that you know of?
About 100. I mean, not a huge lineup.
That's kind of huge.
It's pretty big, but and any bike enthusiast is going to freak out over the lineup. I mean, you've got all the big manufacturers, the Yamahas, the Kawasaki, Suzuki's, and Honda, and so forth. So they didn't go too far back in time.
Can we see the bike selection screen actually? Well, is that hard to get to from here? Or?
No. I can show you some bikes real quick.
Cool. Ryan Davis, keep the questions coming for Brian, would you?
You just answered the last one. How many bikes are there in the game? People want to know how it compares to Gran Turismo 4. I mean, obviously that's the last thing that Polyphony Digital did. So, I mean, gameplay-wise, what are we looking at? The differences between this? Obviously, it's going to handle differently because you're dealing with 2 wheels versus 4 wheels.
Right.
But I mean, just general handling. How is it kind of is simmy nature versus arcadey? How does it kind of stack up there?
On the default setting, it's actually
Show some of those old ones too, if you would.
actually pretty approachable. It's not a difficult game to get into. The controls are fairly easy. Accelerate with the X button, brake with the square button, or you can use the right analog stick. The bikes are obviously, you need to drive a bit differently. You need to brake earlier because you just do on a bike, and you need to choose your line a lot more carefully. But supposedly there's at least two different sort of driving styles in the game. I think there's the default level, and there's also a pro level. On pro level, from what I understand, this is the Japanese version, so I haven't been able to enact it. But on pro level, things are a lot more difficult. It's a lot more demanding in the corners. It's a lot easier to fall off the bike in the corners if you dip too low, if you go off into the grass or something like that. But I haven't experimented with that yet, but they told me that it is in the game. One of the cool things about the game is that you can also, if we go into career mode, I don't know how much time we have, but if we go into career mode...
I'll give you 30 seconds.
Okay.
Yeah.
To show off career mode?
Sure.
Okay, great. Well, one of the things that's cool about the game is when you go into career mode, you can not only collect your bikes, you don't buy bikes, there's no money in the game. You win bikes by beating races and challenges, but you can customize your leathers, your helmet, your everything you want. You earn these things in the game, and you can totally trick out your rider, but you can also exactly position the rider along the on the bike how you want.
Oh, cool.
So if I want, when I lean into a corner, if I want to lean out a little bit more, I can set that in the game. So I can, if I'm a big bike rider enthusiast, I can make the guy in the game dress exactly, or not only dress, but ride the bike exactly as I do in real life. It's pretty cool.
So this is the career mode right here?
This is career mode. Obviously, we have license tests, just like a Gran Turismo game. We have, the difference here, as I mentioned earlier, there's no money in the game. You get new bikes for your garage by beating challenges and beating races. So you still collect a lot of bikes, it's just you do it a little bit differently.
Are there any riders in the game like Vanilla Ice or Ian Ziering? Are they around?
No, unfortunately not.
Why Ian Ziering?
He's a competitive
people.
motorcycle rider.
Is he really?
He is.
I did not know
One
that.
last question, Ryan Davis, for Brian.
People want to know how it compares to MotoGP 3. That's the one question I'm getting the most here. Overall, can you do front rear braking independently? How does that all stack up?
You can do those things. Again, I think that's one of the crucial settings in the pro setting mode, that you can individually assign buttons to whatever control you like. In terms of MotoGP, there are some very crucial differences. First, MotoGP 3 has 16 bikes on the track at once. Gran Turismo 4, Tourist Trophy only has a maximum of 4 bikes on the track. So a big difference. I think that one of the great things about this game is it has a whole bunch of different kinds of tracks, road courses and traditional race circuits, whereas MotoGP is obviously focused only on the MotoGP schedule. And of course, no online racing here, but online racing on MotoGP.
Cool. Well, thanks for coming by, Brian.
My pleasure.
You have a full preview available on the site right now.
It went up last week, so check it out.
New gameplay, movies, etc. That's Brian Eckberg, everyone. Ryan Davis, who's with you?
I have senior editor Ricardo Torres over here. What's going on, Ricardo?
Not a whole lot.
We are here to check out Mega Man Powered Up for the PSP exclusively on the Spot. You're not going to find this anywhere else, folks. Now, this is the game that came out. This was named Rockman. Is that the right one?
It is.
So this was Rockman in Japan, where Mega Man is known as Rockman. Now, this is both a remake of the original Mega Man, the very first Mega Man game, as well as a remix of it.
Yes.
So let's jump into it. Show me what this looks like now that they've redone this. Now, when you say a remake, is it like, is there not the original, like, with the little, like, 8-bit sprite graphics at all in there?
You'll see. So basically when you...
You can just tell me.
So basically when you go to the menu, you see you have New Game Continue. That's pretty much the heart of it.
Okay.
You've got Construction and Challenge. Construction is one of the cool new features that they've added to the game, which is you can actually make your own levels.
Okay.
You can make your own levels, save them, share them with friends, yada yada.
Like, how big can these levels get? Like, what sort of size scope are we talking about?
Like big. I'll show you
like
in a
full-on Mega Man levels?
Yes.
Wow.
I'll show you in a second.
Okay.
And
I just want to see the game, man. You're teasing me with this menu.
I am. So the other thing is, what you've got here is, hold on, let me see. The challenge level is insane.
So this is, you were telling me about this earlier, this is 100 levels of Mega Man.
This is all kinds of stuff.
Okay.
This is basically, it's Mega Man and all the different bosses, because that's one of the neat things. As you go through the game, you're going to be able to unlock each of the bosses' playable characters.
Nice. So you can play as Cut Man.
Totally. Because
and Guts Man.
Once you do that, you can go back and you can...
Like Man.
There's 10 of these per character. So you're going to have to go through the challenges with each of them, which is insane. But all right, you want to see the game?
I want to see the game. I don't want to see menus.
So you do new game, and immediately you have
new
two
style,
choices.
old style. So you can play just straight up Mega Man, just 8-bit graphics and everything.
Not 8-bit graphics.
No.
It's got.
Oh, okay. So this is.
It retains the facelift that the series got, which is, look how cute.
He's huge. Look at his head.
So here
my God.
Here you've got the same basic stuff,
Cut
right?
Man, Fireman.
This is everybody that we knew and killed
Man.
back in the day.
Iceman.
So if you kind of...
I forget the ordering. Who do we go with first? Cut Man? Is it Cut Man? I think
Sure,
it's Cut Man.
I think so.
I think that's right.
And so old
Dun, 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 dun,
Well, you're not hearing...
dun,
Well,
dun, dun. All right,
we're not hearing
We're not
is
hearing it.
the
so
music.
That's why I'm filling in, man.
And so this is basically... This is what it looks like when you play the old school
Okay.
one. Okay? And so this
We'll
is...
run around and shoot some dudes. I want to see some of this.
I don't want to die.
So they have not softened this up any
No.
for us. The original Mega Man is like one of the most unfairly tough, crazy NES games ever.
If the original Mega Man made you cry, this one will make you cry all over again.
So yeah, it's
But in
just,
a really cute way.
But in a really cute way.
you'll cry like an anime character.
And it will be even more
And
embarrassing.
then you get that little like worried bead sweat thing on your head while
It
you're
will
playing
be
it.
even more embarrassing because really cute things are killing you as opposed to really cool looking sprites.
So that looks pretty hot. So
So-
that's just Mega Man.
That is just the Mega Man game.
Okay, so then we have Mega Man Powered Up,
So
which
you have the,
implies a lot.
The new style version. Hold on, let me get out of this. Let's see. Let me go to the title screen.
All right, while you do that, can I
Yes.
throw some questions at you?
can.
Mr. David Morse wants to know if it has any kind of Wi-Fi multiplayer options.
Kind of. And that the only thing there is you're able to share your levels with friends.
Okay, so you can make levels in Mega Man Powered Up, and then you can like upload them.
Yes.
There's going to be like a server or something that Capcom's going to.
They're going to have something that's going to be really cool where you're going to be able to share them with friends. And people are going to be able to get them. So here we've got the new style. So the new style one, three difficulties.
We have difficulties.
Yes, we
That's
do.
a welcome change.
And-
Now, remember in the original Mega Man, there was no continuing, no saves, it was like extra brutal.
Right. So
Did they modify that one at all? Or?
right. So the whole thing about the new style one is basically you've got a couple different things. You've got the backstory, which
It's not already, man.
I guess a bunch of us didn't know. So now we find out that he was actually a mellow dude. named Mega.
I thought he was a robot.
He is.
I thought he was, but no, because he's a dude there.
He's a helper robot.
He was a helper robot who was pretty much pacifistic, and something horrible happens. This dude, Dr. Wily.
Oh, you rapscallion.
Brilliant scientist, Dr. Wily.
So I'm gonna skip this cinema, and then when you first start, you're just Mega, right?
You are no man.
So what ends up happening is it's a pretty simple level because I can't actually attack anything. And what you want to do is you just want to go up here to your homie's house.
Dr. Light.
And here is Dr. Light. And unfortunately, you know, who's in the bag? You know?
All the robots.
So, you know, you got to do something, and he gets a makeover, and all of a sudden he can do this. Right?
That's pretty sweet.
And this is pretty much what the game looks like, which is it's pretty hot.
So now these are just completely new levels, but like the same original bosses.
It
What are we
is-
looking at? Like the overall layout in this?
We're basically looking at a mix. There are a lot of the classic feel is there, the classic level design is there. Some of the levels have gotten facelifts because the one thing is there are new bosses in the new style one. There are 2 new bosses in addition to like the dudes that you already know, and they all have different powers and whatnot.
Can you tell us who they are?
They are Time Man and Oil Man.
Oil Man.
Oil Man Boyd? Red Sox pitcher?
No, just Oil Man.
Oh, that was Oil Can Boyd.
And you know, and here's
My
a
bad.
face-off with Dr. Wily. I mean, yeah, Dr. Wily. For a second there, I got confused. And see, much bigger, much more painful.
Very cool. Well, we're not going to subject you to dying in here. We're gonna cut away from your death real quick.
Let me show you.
Actually, we're just about out.
He's got one more thing. I
One
mean,
more
we can make
thing.
an exception for
All
that
right,
guy,
I'll make an exception.
I will now show you the level editor,
Yeah, we gotta see that.
which is
True enough.
really user-friendly. It basically comes in 3. It comes in 3 flavors: create, play, and connect.
So let's create.
So you create, you go data select, and then you create a new stage. Then you move over here because it's telling you where to go, and then you begin the game with scenery packs. As you're playing through all these old levels, you can find more. So, and this is a pretty good, it's a pretty good spread, right? So you go and in each pack you can have like different enemies that you can pick from. And once you got all those sorted, then you go over to basically where you create the level.
This is pretty deep.
So you can do like full on like level layout, enemy placement, all that kind of
Yeah,
jazz.
and the menus are super easy. Basically, you've got here, these are blocks.
Does it give you like any sort of like templated like kind of layout stuff that you can then monkey with, or is it just like you are starting with a blank slate?
So far, what we've seen is like you're starting with a blank slate. See that whole open area?
Okay.
That's
So like the space I'm seeing up in the
and then you can set more. You can open up a lot more.
So that map we're seeing in the upper right hand corner, that basically like shows how much space you can ultimately use up.
Yep.
That's pretty hefty.
And you see at the bottom, you have like those little counters that go down every time I put something in. So that's basically the cost to put these items in. So there'll be a limit to how many items and enemies you can place.
Okay, so you have to like design wisely. You can't just
Yes.
fill up with 1,000 of those little hard hat dudes. And
Exactly.
although I would like to do that.
That'd be kind of fun.
Wait, this isn't so much fun anymore.
And
My
then
idea's better.
you can set the pickups,
Uh-huh.
which are down here, health and whatnot, and you can pretty much. This is like a horrible mongoloid level, so don't judge me. But you can do crazy stuff like this, like I'm setting the walls and all that stuff. And when you're ready to test it out, like this really ugly level that I just put together, you just hit start, and then you go down to test, and then you can name it something, which I just did, which is totally in another language, but that's cool.
Oh, it wants us to save it. Cancel the save.
Yes, I'm canceling this.
All right, I don't think
So-
we're going to get to see that.
So there you
But
go.
there's a teaser for you of Mega Man Powered Up for the PSP. When's that coming out stateside, Ricardo?
I believe it is March 14th.
Fantastic. And preview coverage of this?
Preview coverage is going up tomorrow. We're going to have bunch of cool stuff to show you.
So Friday, text, video, check back on the site for it. But right now, Rich Gallup, you're thugging over there, right?
I'm totally thugging it with GameSpot's Master Thug.
How's it going?
Straight out of Carolina.
Yep.
Raise your arms up.
Woo woo.
Sure,
yeah, whatever. Something like that. Yeah.
What game did you bring with you, Brad?
We have got The Godfather from EA, which you might be able to figure out is based on the movie The Godfather.
Which one?
The first one.
Oh, okay, the good one.
Yeah.
Actually, the
second one is good.
Second one's
very good.
Not good.
Yeah.
You know, they almost made a fourth one. They were working on a fourth one, and Leonardo DiCaprio was going to play a young Sonny.
Weird.
I know, terrible.
I was hoping for like a Robo Godfather or something.
That'd be good too.
If it was going to be in the future.
But no. Let's hop into this game,
we've got the game here. So so like I mentioned, this is based on The Godfather, the movie. If you don't know what The Godfather is, I don't know, go to Blockbuster or something. It's one of the most important films ever made, pretty much. But
however, this game has been, has not gotten a glowing endorsement from the director of that movie.
No,
Coppola.
Coppola is definitely against the creation of this game. I mean, you have to figure it's a really revered story. It's been around for 35 years. You kind of get the sense that they were going to have to shoehorn this franchise or the license into this gameplay construct. But it seems like so far they seem to have made a pretty good game out of it, and also pretty much paid respect to the source material.
So how are they using the source material? You're not running around as...
You are not one of the Corleones, which are the central family in the story. No, you're actually... you start out, you're a kid at the beginning of the game, and you see your father, who works for the Don, gunned down.
Oh, no.
And that basically gives you the impetus to grow up and wanting revenge, So you're looking to build your own criminal empire.
You don't play as a kid, though, do you?
No. It flashes forward after that intro, so then you're like a 20-something guy. You're just a low-level kind of enforcer type for the Corleones, and it's gameplay-wise, it's really kind of Grand Theft Auto style. You got a free-roaming 1940s New York, which you see here.
How big is this city compared to, say, Grand Theft Auto level?
Let's pull up the map and check it out.
Sure.
So you can see you've got different areas of New York, like we're in Little Italy right now. Here's Brooklyn, there's Midtown, Hell's Kitchen. Looks like you go to Jersey for part of the game. So they're definitely getting you around in the city a lot, but... I'm just driving around right now. You can jack pretty much any car you see, just like you would hope.
A lot of litter.
Yeah, it's dirty, I guess. New York is a dirty place. But
so what kind of stuff can you do?
Let's see what kind of speaking of dirt, what kind of dirty business can I get into? There are a bunch of businesses, hopefully like this one, scattered around where you can basically just barge in, and like you see, it said new venue discovered. I'm not sure what kind of place this is. You can find like a butcher or a barber or anything. Basically, you're looking for the business owner, who I don't see here. But
it's not obviously none of those guys going like this, punching their hands. It's
hopefully
that's
not.
What you do when you're the owner.
Hopefully not, because when you're shaking them down for protection money, you're going to exchange some blows. So there he is. There's the guy.
Oh, that's a cool symbol.
Yeah, so this is kind of like a little optional side mission, sort of like you had like the taxi missions in GTA or something. Like in this game, you can barge into these businesses and essentially shake down the business owner for protection money. Since we don't have sound in here, I'm not sure what that guy actually just said. But you know what? This one actually looks legitimate, because if you're not actually shaking them down for cash, sometimes you can actually buy into their kind of illegal backroom operation.
Well, that just said extort, so that's
okay. It looks like now. I mean, okay, he's poking me in the chest. Okay, so now you see under his life meter, there's now his goons are coming at me. He has the owner, if you saw, had a little kind of intimidation meter, and if I rough up enough of his thugs and break enough of his stuff, then he is likely to relent and actually let me basically.
Now, how do you beat
him.
up his thugs and break his stuff?
Unfortunately, I don't think I can when I've got 2 of them or 3 of them on me, and one of them has a Tommy gun.
Hey, Brad,
apparently.
The question I'm getting a lot of here, people want to know how this kind of compares to Mafia, if at all.
I am among the unfortunate few who have not played Mafia.
I haven't played Mafia either, dude.
So we don't know. Okay, dude, that's
yeah,
fine.
and now I'm dead.
That's all right.
You're
kind of outnumbered.
They want to know about creating your thug, like the character that you make. Like, what do you get to do when you create your character?
Yeah,
do you get to like import your face, that kind of stuff?
Right. Well, you can't take yourself into the game, but they've definitely emphasized this kind of play your own mobster thing, because it's got an interface when you start a new game. It's very similar to the Tiger Woods game face system. You essentially can tweak just about every aspect of your face that you can possibly think of, from like the size of your eyebrows to I think they actually use forehead intensity as a
Forehead
variable.
intensity?
Your chin size, all the features you can totally
How intense
change.
is this guy's forehead?
This guy's got an intense
Is
forehead.
it like a
Let's
3,
see
a
what-
4?
Uh,
It's like a K grade.
I think it's that's about medium.
pretty intense
I'd say
forehead.
that's about medium grade for your
That's
typical
kind of
mafioso.
intense, sure.
Can you
But,
just jack a car, by the way?
Yeah,
Let's
let's
do that.
just take a car.
Yeah.
I think you've probably seen this before.
Wait, what
but
other?
there
I
it
mean,
is.
obviously, there's huge comparisons to GTA going on
Yeah.
here. From what you've seen in the game so far, how free roaming is it in that regard? Is there are you picking up prostitutes? What?
None of that. I mean, like I said, you can go into the random businesses. I'm actually driving out to the Corleone estate right now. It doesn't seem to be quite as interactive as GTA on the whole, just in terms of all the people walking around. I mean, you can go up and talk to any of these people you see, but most of them will just give you kind of a one-off little comment.
Well, that's
Keep
all
going,
really
so-
anyone in GTA ever did.
Yeah, that's true. But I mean, like I said, there's all the little businesses you can get into. After you gain in rank, you can take on hits also, so you can have rival family targets. And in fact, I haven't gotten far enough in, but later in the game, you'll actually be taking over rival family territories. So you'll be kind
Go
of
after Salasso.
yeah, exactly.
I have one last question.
Okay.
Ryan Davis, I'll let you look for one last good question. I'm going to ask my own. One of the very first movies we saw this game, they were the people at EA were very excited because they're bringing back people like James Caan
Right,
and
right.
Michael Duvall to re-record audio, and they compared a clip from the movie with these now 60-year-old, 70-year-old men recording
Right.
audio again, and then putting them with CG, and it didn't really hit me as well as it didn't seem as cool as the movie. How do they use the talent in this game?
Well, you know what? Actually, I'm driving right up to the estate, and Tom Hagen, who's the Robert Duvall character, is right
Robert
there.
Duvall. Did I say Michael Duvall? Who's Michael Duvall? I'm sorry.
Some dude.
Long day.
Some dude that you're shilling for, I
Yeah.
guess. But
My uncle.
you know what? I actually kind of noticed. I mean, the voices are definitely there. You can tell who they are. But on
Right.
the other hand, like you said, when you add 30 years to somebody's voice, it's going to kind of rough it up a little bit. So it's
And
not.
some of the characters in the movie are dead.
Yeah, like Fredo, for instance, the brother.
Fredo's dead?
He died in 1978. Actually,
I had no idea.
Very shortly after the second movie. Obviously, Brando is dead. There's some debate about how much.
Brando lives on an island with Elvis.
Yeah, there you go. Here's Tom Hagen.
Michael
so
Duvall.
Here is a Duvall of unspecified first name.
I was confusing with the Douglases. That's my problem. There's a Michael Douglas.
and
a
there's a Kirk Douglas. There's a lot of Douglases.
One last question, Ryan Davis.
Yeah,
No, you got nothing?
They want to know what the most brutal thing that you've done in the game so far has been.
There's all kinds of like when you're grappling with somebody, you can perform like an execute move when their health is low enough, and sometimes you'll knock them down on the ground and kind of stomp them in the head, or you'll grab them and kind of shoot them point blank in the side of the head or something like that.
Definitely
So
an M-rated game.
it's-
M for mature.
It's very
Yeah.
bloody. I mean, they definitely didn't skimp on the blood. So
Oh, you got promoted to Enforcer.
I'm
Congratulations.
doing my work.
Do you know this game's coming out, Brad?
March.
On a whole bunch of platforms.
Yes.
All kinds.
Tons.
yeah,
We've been
everything.
looking at this on the
Tons.
Xbox,
This
to be
is
clear.
the original Xbox, the
Yes.
OG Xbox, but it's on the 360, PS2, Xbox, PC, PSP.
Sure.
maybe, I think.
We'll find out. For more information, check out Brad's
Yes.
full preview on the site. We've got gameplay, movie screenshots, all of that. But right now, you may see Greg Mueller standing by Ryan Davis, but before we learn what his take on Fight Night Round 3 is, we're going to show you a little taste of GameSpot's history of boxing video games. The full thing's running tomorrow on the site, but check out a nice 3-minute clip right now. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to GameSpot's main event. We're here at 3rd Street Gym in San Francisco, California to bring you the history of boxing video games. From Tyson to Holyfield, Ring King to Knockout Kings, they're all in here. And later, Fight Night creator Kudo Sonoda will take you on an in-depth look at the latest and greatest scrapper for the Xbox 360, Fight Night Round 3. Now, GameSpot editors, to your corners, and make like Little Mac and come out swinging.
Well, boxing for Atari 2600 was probably the first boxing video game ever.
It's hard to even call them boxing games. I mean, those games back then were just like, groupings of pixels that they extended, a little bit and struck each other.
I can't ever believe we ever thought that, wow, this is really great boxing action, because, yeah, that's stupid.
It wasn't until the Nintendo Entertainment System came around that we really first saw games that had not only some of the fighters that we knew in the ring, but also some of the technique that they use in real life.
Ring King was a game that started out in arcades and was eventually also brought home to the NES.
But Ring King was the one that actually let you move around the ring.
But your movement was really kind of relative to the other fighter, so you could circle around the other fighter and kind of move in and out. And that let you play some range games where you could be able to walk in, throw a punch, and get out.
But it did have, you know, the light, quick punches, and then the heavy blows that would, you know, even sometimes knock the guy across the ring. So Ring King had a lot of style to it.
Like everybody had an afro. I don't care what race you were, you had an afro.
Ring King was just kind of crazy all around. Between rounds, it had these little animations with guys in the corner kind of helping you out.
And they'd be like doing something, and like, you could, what? What's happening there? What? So yeah, so we get a dude from on the phone, Data East, explain what that is exactly. That'd be awesome.
Ring King. Yeah, you know, I mean, I think that was one of those games that we played, and it was just like, you know, not a lot of good mechanics in there for us to draw, and I think that was one of the ones that was more of like, yeah, it gave us lots of good things to not do as opposed to stuff we're trying to get into Fight Night.
So on the Sega Master System, at the same time, you had Ring King and Mike Tyson's Punch-Out. On the NES, you had Rocky.
Out of the Rocky series, you know, both the games and the movies that we really kind of drew upon was, you know, more of that, like the essence of the character of Rocky as opposed to the gameplay mechanics.
It didn't have any storyline stuff, didn't have anything behind that, but it had, you know, Rocky in the ring, and you were going up against Mr. T and Drago and, you know, Apollo Creed. So that was awesome. It was a very traditional boxing game. You had two guys on the same plane, kind of sticking the fists out there, hitting each other. Not a whole lot to it. The only real significance of it was that it was the boxing game for the Sega Master System.
And we are back. Hello, Jeff.
Hello.
Now, you may have noticed that one game might have been missing from that era of the history of boxing.
No,
It's Mike Tyson's Punch-Out.
Oh yeah, I remember that
And
game.
I'm going to let you start playing it now, but before we see
Okay.
how you do and make you lose to Mike Tyson,
Uh-huh.
I want to toss it over to Ryan Davis and Greg Mueller to see some Fight Night Round 3 on the Xbox 360. Gentlemen? Huh?
Hey, Rich, what's going on? Yes, we have Fight Night Round 3. As for that history of boxing video, that's just a taste of it. We're going to have the rest of it up on the site tomorrow. Greg, you're here with Fight Night Round 3 for the Xbox 360.
Yep.
Now, you've just reviewed this game.
Yep.
Now, we were talking about this game a little bit earlier, and this is a little bit different from the last year's Xbox or last year's Fight Night. One of the things is like these crazy classic matches, which they had before, but they've kind of twisted them up here. Mm-hmm. Show us what we're looking at. Let's jump into this. Now, this is
the ESPN Classic matches, and basically you can go and take on some of the legendary rivalries in the history of boxing. So we've got Leonard versus Hagler, Leonard versus Duran, and my favorite, Robinson versus LaMotta.
Okay.
So
Take
we'll
LaMotta.
We'll go ahead and jump
Ray
in.
Robinson. Let's jump into this. So now, one of the cool things about this that we were talking about earlier is that they actually show this match in black and white.
Yeah, because these guys were fighting back in the the 1940s, so kind of
for authenticity's sake, now we get a little kind of like film reel thing going beforehand.
Sure, yeah.
Let's jump into the match here. Let's see how dudes are hitting each other here. Now, we're looking at the Xbox 360 version of this. It's also available on the PS2, the Xbox, and also just came out on the PSP version,
too,
which that's a little bit different. But
it's
comparing this 360 version to the Xbox and the PS2 versions, how do those stack up? Like, what's big difference is obviously graphical quality.
Yeah, the features are actually identical across the board. Really, it's just the graphical features that you're looking for, and of course the price. The Xbox 360 version is $20 more.
20.
Yeah. So
okay,
How are those
good to know.
load times?
That was a sweet $20 load time right there.
Well, it's $20 more now because EA went and lowered the price of the
Oh, that's right. Okay, so
it's not $70, still $60.
Okay, so it is $60, but it's still that's a gap. So let's get into this match. Mind if I throw some questions at you while you slug away at this? Andrew Burwood from Belfast, Northern Ireland wants to know how is Fight Night 3 online? Is there much lag? Also, how many modes is there to play with?
Well, online we didn't notice any lag at all with the 360 and the Xbox versions. There is a little bit on the PS2 version, but it's not so bad. It's definitely bearable, and hopefully that'll get smoothed out over time.
Now, how does this compare to last year's? I mean, obviously, let's ignore the graphical differences, but gameplay-wise, how is this stacking up?
The gameplay is actually very similar. You still got the total punch control, which is great. It's what the Fight Night series is known for.
Now, this is just a unique like dual analog system that they've come up with.
Yeah, basically you control everything with the 2 analog sticks and the 2 triggers. So it's real simple, real intuitive, and it's real easy to switch from, say, defending to throwing an attack. You can throw combos real quick, and it's a lot of fun. The difference is this year they've added a couple impact punches, which are these big variations on the haymaker, which was added last year. So you can do like a flash KO punch, which if you land it, it'll instantly drain your opponent's health, and he'll be ready to get knocked down with another hit.
No, I'm not seeing any kind of like HUD or anything on this. Is that strictly for this one? That's for all versions.
Yeah,
of it, right?
on all versions, there's an option to turn the HUD on or off. It defaults to off on the 360, and it's on the others. The difference is that on the 360, you can kind of tell how your fighters are doing because they show a bit more in terms of damage and wear and emotion on their faces, whereas on the Xbox and PS2 version, they don't quite.
You kind of need to have
the
HUD up there.
Exactly.
All right, let me ask you one last question here before we go. Robert Barba in Los Angeles wants to know, can Fight Night Round 3 be enjoyable for a person who's a total noob when it comes to boxing in general? Do you need to know boxing to play this game and enjoy it?
No, not at all.
Not at all.
It's a lot of fun. I mean, basically what makes it so fun is the control. It's really satisfying to throw those uppercuts, throw those haymakers, and land them, and bash your opponent's face in.
Can you talk to us really quick, Greg? We have to say, because it sticks out like a sore thumb.
Yeah.
When I see a game this gorgeous, then all of a sudden there's like fat Dodge logos everywhere, and what, the Burger King guy from the football commercials in it? What's that all about?
It really kind of kills the authenticity, especially when they go to the pains to make the boxers look like they actually did back when they were fighting, and they make it in black and white, but then you've got this giant Dodge spotlight floating around in the background. It's kind of gross, and it's all over the place, and it's especially kind of bad on the 360 because you are paying $60 for it, and you're still seeing a ton of ads.
And even all the achievements in the game, or most of them, are reflective of those licenses,
exactly,
right?
Like what? Like what are they?
Well, I mean, there's a Dodge fight.
Aren't all of the achievements basically just they're
Burger
sponsored?
King fight,
yeah, they're sponsored
ESPN
fights. So you win the Everlast title or something, and you get an achievement for
that one makes sense.
Yeah, Everlast, sure.
Whatever, Burger King.
But how many boxers out there other
fighting?
than possibly George Foreman? They're not even him anymore.
Wait, does Everlast come to the ring and stand in your corner too? House of Pain's Everlast?
Different Everlast.
Different Everlast.
Different Everlast.
My bad.
So that would be...
That'd be the best game ever. Greg Mueller, tell us final thoughts on your review, please.
It's a great game. They didn't change much from last year, but it's still a lot of fun. It looks absolutely amazing on the Xbox 360, and the online play is a real kick.
Excellent. And what'd you score the game on the 360?
An 8.3 on the 360.
Excellent. You can read our full review on the site. Keeping with the boxing. Gentlemen, Tyson.
Yes.
Yeah. Go. I have a game here that also has total punch control. If I can just show you the... so here's what it has here. Now, this is right.
Yeah.
And this is left.
Okay.
And last time I checked, most boxers have 2 fists, so it's like, what more do you need, right?
Right, that's all you need.
So I'm going to put this into action here in this this game called Mike Tyson's Punch-Out.
Oh, is this new?
It's for the Nintendo Entertainment System.
It's the Nintendo game.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's one of these new Nintendo tapes here. And I'm going to show you a section of the fight from the major circuit going up against ranked number 3 Don Flamenco.
I've heard of him.
Himself.
Yeah, he is from Spain.
Wasn't he in the Rumble in the Jungle?
Yeah, that's the same dude.
This is tying in the history of boxing feature, Fight Night Round 3, and the Don. This is getting the Godfather in here as well.
And something else. I don't know.
Yeah, some other stuff.
Yeah.
Some other stuff.
Let's see this fight. How's this game play?
This game has a really kind of pattern-based thing to it. Especially, each fighter kind of has their own little pattern. This guy, Don Flamenco here, he seems to just like to take it up top, left, right, left, right, left, right. He just kind of takes it to the face like this over and over again. And you can just kind of knock him out real easy.
You did. It was so easy. In fact, we're not even going to show it.
Yeah, it's like, why? What do you need to see? You guys know what Don Flamenco looks like, right? He's this Spanish dude. He's got a rose and he hits the rose. Whatever. Just all you need to know is that he's gone down twice, and I'm looking at this camera, not even the game anymore.
Well, while we figure out the obvious issues we're getting. And
What?
Here's what I want you to do. You're gonna load up Mike Tyson, and we're gonna see how well you do against him.
Okay.
But while we're waiting for that to happen, this is actually tying in everything. So we tied it in. We had Don Flamenco, Don Godfather. We had the History of Boxing, which you can see tomorrow night.
Yes.
Correct? We had Fight Night 3, another boxing game.
Yes.
And we got Mike Tyson, which is a classic NES game.
Okay, so we're forming some kind of Illuminati triangle pyramid.
Yes, the Pentaveret.
Okay.
But
what is the final piece to the puzzle?
The final piece is GameSpot's gigantic Nintendo flashback feature, which is going up on the site this weekend. You know, it's been 20 years since the Nintendo came out.
No.
It's been 20 years.
Come on. No, I got one when they came out, and I was...
You were like 15 then. So
no,
that means you're like 45.
You were like 37 then,
exactly.
Jeff?
I was like 43 when the Nintendo came out.
That was just before you retired.
Years old. But you got. We're gonna say the definitive 10 best.
The 10 best
NES games ever, according to GameSpot.
And, you know, just covering all kinds of topics from, you know, like the best games ever, you know, some of the hardest games, some great box art, and, of course, we all gathered around and talked about some of our favorite moments regarding the system, its peripherals, its games.
It is an epic video.
It is, yeah.
It is an epic video that you cannot wait to see. I know you can. And, in fact, we're going to give you a tease of it right now. Check it out.
Put the game in, like so. You push it down. And that's it, really. If you were taking care of your business, that's all you had to do. If you were some kind of dirtbag that couldn't take care of a Nintendo, then that's when you had to do all kinds of unsightly business. I mean, everyone had to blow in cartridges and blow in here. And
I know some people claim to have done voodoo dances or, you know, sacrifice goats to get their games to work.
The surefire way to make sure your NES games go.
I did the thing where you just kind of pulled it as far out as you could.
I would always have tricks of kind of sliding the cart a little bit to get the pins to line up a little better.
Wiggle it to the side.
And you push it in just as far as you can. So you try to put it up. No, not quite. Push it a little bit further.
But what you do is you just push such a way that it's sort of all the way to the back. You give it the extra little push to the back, and then you push it down.
Sometimes you have to, you know, tilt it up and down a few times.
It required a gentle coaxing in order to work.
Just blow it. You know, try to get some of that heat.
That's not going to do anything.
Blowing together. I mean, there's a whole science to this.
Do that about 50 times.
It works better when you have the Power Glove enabled.
That's how you make your NES games go.
I still have my original Nintendo from Christmas '85, and it still works. We can still push it down in there. It still works just fine. So you know, my original NES still goes. So if yours doesn't,
And we are back. Now, I have to say, seeing that Nintendo getting blown in like that and all the games...
Turned you on, didn't it?
No, it would kind of like... It should take everyone back, and I hope it does. And you're like, oh, I played Nintendo. I remember we'd spit all over that thing. And that's what I would be thinking if that wasn't my Nintendo being used as a prop.
Ew.
That's right. We spit all over your Nintendo.
And my games, like I gave them like a specific like bad game for to be the one that everyone could spit in. And then there's my man Ryan McDonald right there, blowing spit all over my gold Zelda game. That's great.
He's just cleaning it, man.
But it's not just 45 minutes of people spitting on Nintendos.
No,
right?
it isn't.
There's more
but
to this
what if
feature.
it was?
That would still
that
be
would
pretty
be great.
Yeah.
But this is great too in its own way.
It is great.
Now we talk about like there's going to be like the top 10, like we give our definitive list, but then also the editors give their shouts out to different games. I give some props to Super Mario Brothers 2.
Yeah, I got Rygar's back over here.
Rygar, why Rygar?
Rygar is dope.
Rygar is great.
Yeah, Rygar, it's like they took a dumb arcade game and made it a terrific home game. Kind of like Strider.
He's got a giant flaming yo-yo. That's the weirdest. I don't know. The whole concept of, and was it originally even in Roman times, or was that something weird that Tecmo did later?
Yeah, I think that was just something they added in later. I don't know. Well, I don't know. There are pillars and stuff in that game, and I don't know. It's mostly about you getting grappling hooks from bald dudes and going to the Sky Castle and getting the coat of arms.
You know, and we found out that you guys all spit in my Nintendo so much that it is now no longer working, and we can't get it running again for you to play Mike Tyson.
Really?
We actually broke your
Oh,
This is all on you guys.
That
I'm
is
totally
weak.
getting a brand
Well, it's
new.
probably for the
why I didn't
best
bring
because I mean,
mine in.
this controller
That
is even
controller
kind
just
of
had a
grungy.
sticker on it that I peeled off when
yeah,
I
a
was, like,
sticker.
15.
Whatever. You buried this in some kind of
Nintendo
time
Power
capsule.
came with like these like cool like spaceman stickers you could put over the controllers. I did that.
Spaceman, that was one of my
Anyways.
NES favorites.
Yeah, exactly. Anyways, but so sorry, folks. No Mike Tyson. I apologize. You can blame everyone else. You saw what they did to my Nintendo.
That was kind of gross.
That was.
Yeah.
But we do have one last thing we want to talk about before we go today.
What's that?
Tomorrow night, one of our major draws from GameSpot Live video content is Tournament TV.
Tournament TV.
And
So,
tomorrow
yeah.
night we are having the next edition of Tournament TV.
And it's a little racing action.
It
right?
is.
Yeah.
We have some video footage you can see right now. It is NASCAR sim racing for the PC.
All right.
The preliminaries have been going on all week long.
Cool.
40 racers brought down to 20.
That's half. That's like half the people at home. This is like the NBA finals.
Exactly.
Or something.
Here it is. I mean, we're gonna have 20 cars on the track. Daytona, 40 laps.
That's a lot of laps.
Play-by-play, color commentary, the whole shebang.
Cool.
Yeah, we're working
stops and
all kinds of like
driving,
petty
making left
references
all
and
kinds of as many left turns as you can possibly
40
stand.
laps. That's like 80 left turns.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, unless it's like 2 left turns, and each one is forward. Left,
And
160 times 20.
Here comes the guy in the number 4 car. He's making a left
Exactly.
turn.
It's like 3,200 left turns.
Up here, he's making a left turn.
But there's big money in
Into turn number 3, hard left.
Huge money on the line for this. For
What's
all
the
these
money,
races.
Ryan Davis?
There's $2,500 on the line, if I'm not mistaken.
I would make some left turns for 2,500 bones.
Cool.
Yeah.
I would too.
Yeah.
And some people will, and someone will walk away with a whole bunch of money. $1,250 gift certificate to Newegg, grand prize winner.
Nice.
You can Friday night tournament TV.
6 p.m.
Pedal to the metal.
GameSpot.
$2,500. Catch it.
GameSpot standard time.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm so bummed out by no Mike Tyson, dude.
You know, here's how it would have went.
Okay.
Okay, here's how that fight would have gone.
All right,
He would have gone. Okay.
I'll be Tyson.
Okay,
or
you be
wanna
Tyson.
do-
Yeah,
wanna
you be
do-
Tyson.
All right.
I would have ducked like one of them, and I would have maybe got like one hit in.
It would have done like
and
that.
then
Like I would have stepped back and like blinked once.
yeah, and then
popped.
that would be it. It'd be over. It'd be over. I'd be out.
Because you can't beat Mike Tyson.
You cannot beat Mike Tyson.
Fresh Prince couldn't.
No,
You can't.
If the Fresh Prince can't, you certainly cannot.
No,
sir.
you definitely
because you,
cannot.
sir, are no. I know the Fresh Prince.
Yeah.
and you are no Fresh Prince.
I'm not even
Maybe a
Jazzy
Jazzy Jeff.
No, I'm not even a Jazzy Jeff. Yeah.
That's pretty rough.
Yeah,
He has
that's
some
all right.
self-esteem
That's
issues over there, my man.
But do we have any final wacky questions from the crowd, Ryan Davis?
No,
No?
nothing
Okay.
too wacky. You want to know about online support for Mike Tyson's Punch-Out?
There is.
Yeah, it's coming out with full 480p widescreen support, online play.
Wybro.
Yeah, Wybro technology is built
technology.
right in. Yeah, Mike Tyson for the Revolution coming later this year.
Cool.
Fantastic.
It's
I'll
out,
hear it
it's
here
out next
first.
week alongside the Revolution.
So be sure to come back tomorrow to see the History of Boxing feature.
Yeah.
Come back on Saturday to see the gigantic Nintendo Flashback feature.
That's a lot of stuff.
Also on Friday, while you're waiting.
Yeah.
Well, we got Tournament TV.
Man, so you better watch that
NASCAR.
Nintendo. Yeah, it's-
Your weekend's filled. You're here.
Yeah.
It is.
You're checking stuff
And then
out.
Sunday, you can just watch it all again.
keep it locked.
Greg Mueller, thank you for coming on the show. Really
Yes, thank
appreciate
you
it,
very
man.
much,
You did a
Greg.
great job first time out. Ryan Davis, as always, a pleasure.
It's always a pleasure to be here, Rich.
All right, and I'd also like to thank, obviously, Ricardo, Brian, and Brad for their demos.
Yeah.
Jeff, as always, a pleasure. Sorry that you
Anytime.
didn't get to beat Mike Tyson.
I was going to beat him this time, too.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
It was totally gonna happen.
Yeah, it was really. I was pulling for you this time.
15 years of losing, you were going to break that trend right there.
Finally, you know, it just would have really turned my life around in a lot of ways. But,
Sorry.
you know, there's always tomorrow.
I'd
I
like
guess.
to thank everyone for writing in, who did write in. If you're a GameSpot subscriber, stick around. All of us on camera are going to hop in the chat room. We'll talk a little bit. You
Yeah,
know,
we'll chop it up about something.
It'll be cool.
Yeah.
And I would like to thank all of you for watching, and we will catch you next week right here on The Spot. Thanks for watching.